Aloha and welcome class. My name is Jesand and today we'll be talking about a new concept called economy sharing mobile applications, specifically Uber and Airbnb. Here is the order of presentation. Basically, I'll be defining what economy sharing applications mean and highlighting the company strategies of Uber and Airbnb, followed by my own conclusion and insight. Economy sharing applications are part of an economic model that allows individuals to borrow or rent assets owned by someone else. In reverse, individuals are able to rent out their assets like cars and their homes. So let's talk about Uber. Uber is an online ride-sharing company that connects riders with drivers using its mobile application. And here is some information on the company that you can read. Uber is solely a mobile application, but Uber does have a website. Once you sign up, you just have to input your location and request a ride. Here are some brief demographics of Uber's consumers. As you can see, there's a fair range between genders, but most definitely focus on ages 16 to 34 and also mostly used in urban settings. In regards to consumer behavior, Uber fulfills a very basic need for a relatively fair price. Riders need rides, and drivers provide that service while earning extra money and working their own schedule. Personally, I prefer to use Uber for shorter rides versus using the bus, such as getting to a concert or going to a restaurant. However, I still use the bus or my own personal vehicle when running multiple errands and such. There are some issues with Uber. On both sides, for riders and drivers, safety is a huge issue. As you probably know, there has been cases of assaults and kidnapping, so I believe Uber really needs to reevaluate its background checks for drivers, and there should also be rules for riders because riders have assaulted drivers. Here we have a basic business model canvas for Uber. I would like to highlight its key resources, value proposition, and customer relationship, which you can see on the graph here. Now on to Airbnb. Airbnb enables people to list or rent short-term lodging in residential properties. Just like how Uber has riders and drivers, Airbnb has guests and hosts. Airbnb is available as a mobile application and on a website. Users can utilize either one to post lodging or to book lodging. I was unable to find more specific demographics on Airbnb's users. However, here is a graphic showing where most of the guests come from. As you can see, most are from the US, but there is representation from Europe, South America, and Asia. Going further, Airbnb's guests are traveling to Europe, Asia, and major US cities like Los Angeles and New York City. Interestingly, there is a huge variety of places that guests are staying, from villas to castles and even tree houses and boats, and there's actually some tree houses available here in Hawaii too. In regards to consumer behavior, Airbnb's guests need short-term lodging and seek to live like a local, which is one of Airbnb's main principles. This has been beneficial in bringing tourism dollars to areas that would not normally benefit from tourism. I've never used Airbnb before, but I have been considering it for quite some time. I've actually had two former classmates from HPU who have used Airbnb here on Oahu. They mentioned that they stayed for the weekend and it was a cozy little spot in Kailua and that the host even cooked breakfast for them. Similarly to Uber, Airbnb's issues for guests and hosts include safety and liability. Because the hosts have freedom regarding prices and rules, this can cause friction between guests and hosts. Also, Airbnb is different from hotels in that the guests generally have to clean the lodging themselves. And here we have the business model for Airbnb. Like Uber, its cost structure is technologically based and the customer relationships are often built via social media. So why does Uber and Airbnb work? Well, generally, both are online based and the mobile applications are iOS and Android compatible. Its main users are young adults ages 16 to 34, which vaguely entails their social media emphasis, and it just has some cool appeal. So, in conclusion, internet based businesses like Uber and Airbnb are a unique alternative to traditional services like taxis and hotels. Both emphasize its social media presence, and I've had conversations via Twitter with Uber and Airbnb, and I like that both companies respond quickly. Well, thank you for watching my presentation, and please feel free to comment on your experience or questions regarding Airbnb or Uber or any of its competitors.